Good morning and welcome everyone. We will begin the meeting shortly. Good morning and welcome everyone. We will begin the meeting shortly. Good morning and welcome everyone. We will begin the meeting shortly. A very good morning all. I am Captain Kevin Mascarenhas, and along with my co-hosts Cadet Hitesh Ranglani and Tsunami Kotian, I extend a very warm welcome to all our guests, panelists and attendees to the 14th edition of Transtech. Please show some appreciation and love in the chat box or through the reactions. We can have some digital claps, applause. Transtech has served as an online platform for engineering students to present technical papers. And over the years, we have touched upon a variety of topics and explored new ideas. The focus of our conference has always been on getting practical solutions for prevailing problems. This year, again, we have come up with one such theme, that is efficient shipping in clean oceans. The demands on a seafarer are great. The world at large expects the shipping fraternity to deliver the best in the least possible time while keeping our oceans pollution free. Efficiency, thus, should be one of the most common and important words in the vocabulary of any fine engineer, which is why we have chosen this theme. Speaking of fine engineers, I now call upon two of our finest budding engineers, Tsunami and Hitesh, to take you through the proceedings.
Good morning. I, Cadet Hitesh Ranglani, along with my co-host Tsunami Kotian, welcome you all to the first ever online seminar format of Transtech, held by our institute for the fourth consecutive year. Time and again, erudite individuals have attached great importance to the worship of the goddess Saraswati by reciting the Saraswati Vandana, a classical ode to gain the goddess auspicious blessings and to be directed on the path of free-flowing wisdom and consciousness. Transtech 2021 begins on a pious note.
कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला Every year, Palani Maritime Institute, in association with the Institute of Marine Engineers Pune branch and the Institution of Engineers Pune local center, presents us the opportunity to gain insights from revered personalities in this field, giving us a one of a kind exposure. On this note, Transtech 2021 has the privilege of inviting Dr. Ketan Kotecha, the director of Symbiosis Institute of Technology, as our chief guest for today's proceedings. We welcome you, sir. Please welcome our chief guest with a thumbs up reaction in the chat box.
Thank you.
Now I would request Captain Krishnamurthy Iyer, Principal, Tolani Maritime Institute, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning to you all. Before I start the welcome address, I would request everyone to stand up and observe 2 minutes silence for the souls of thousands of our brothers and sisters who have lost their life in the pandemic. And let us pray that we will not lose any more life. So may I request everybody to stand up for 2 minutes silence, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, I can start now. Our chief guest, Dr. Ketan Kotecha, Director, Symbiosis Institute of Technology. Professor Ghosh, Chairman of Institution of Engineers, Pune Local Branch Center. Mr. Chandakar, Chairman of the Institute of Marine Engineers, Pune Branch. The judges for paper presentation, Mr. Arvind Kumar, Mr. Anand Thakur, and our colleague, Mr. Sirendra Kumar, members of our governing council, members of our academic council, students and faculties from various colleges, my colleagues, cadets, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. Had it not been for the pandemic, I would have had the pleasure of receiving you at TMI. The pandemic has taught us to conduct all the functions online. We welcome Dr. Kotecha. Sir, in spite of a busy schedule, you could find time to deliver the keynote address. Thank you, sir, for sparing your time, a valuable time, and then enlightening us with your knowledge.
Thank you.
I welcome the students from various colleges who will be presenting the papers. Had it not been for the pandemic, we would have the opportunity to interact with all of you. Transtech was started with the idea of permitting students from various engineering colleges to present their skills in paper presentation and making models. The idea of Transtech was to enable the students from various colleges to interact with our students. By interacting with the students from various colleges, we learn a lot. Every college has its own strength. This is exhibited during the students' presentation. Knowledge has no meaning unless it is useful to others. Just as a candle lights a number of other candles without losing its brightness, our knowledge improves by sharing with others. It is great to see many enthusiastic students ready to exhibit their talents by way of models and presentation. I'm sure we will all learn a lot from your innovations. There is a vast unexplored scope to pool the knowledge and understanding on transport sector. The event is organized in association with the Institute of Marine Engineers, Pune, and the Institution of Engineers, Pune Local Center. This year's topic, efficient shipping in clean oceans, and the topic is appropriate for protecting our oceans. India is collaborating with other countries to develop clean and healthy oceans, sustainable use of ocean resources, and the growth in blue economy. Sustainable development is the order of the day. Development must occur without damaging the environment. I compliment Mr. Anil Kumar, the convener for Transtech 21, and his team for planning out and organizing this event. I'm sure after all the paper presentation, we will all walk away enriched with a better understanding of how to keep our oceans clean. I look forward to a lively and rich discussion. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words. Established in 1998, Tolani Maritime Institute started out as a modest educational initiative of the Tolani Group with the aim to produce high-quality mariners that would go on and become citizens of the world. Attributed to a passionate team comprising of committed faculty members, a benevolent supporting staff, Tolani Maritime Institute has now matured into a full-fledged institute with a vision of becoming the preferred maritime education and training provider in the industry for meeting the highest global standards. Presenting to you the corporate video of the legacy.
The sea might be as violent as it can be, the water infinite, and the waves intimidating. But all this become insignificant when a mariner dons his uniform. Conquering the high seas is no mean feat. Only those with a mighty heart and a steely resolve can accomplish that. Such extraordinary seafarers are made in Tolani Maritime Institute, located in Induri at Talegaon near Pune. The sprawling 100-acre campus is an endeavor by the Tolani Group with an illustrious tradition of establishing and managing higher education institutions. Dr. N.P. Tolani, Chairman, Tolani Group of Companies and founder of Tolani Maritime Institute, strongly believes in higher education and its advantages. He credits his father for encouraging him to provide higher education in the country.
I got the bug of education from my father, and it has continued ever since.
Our vision at TMI is to be the preferred maritime education and training provider in the industry, meeting the highest global standards.
This institute is one of the largest maritime educational centers, offering Grade 1 rated marine engineering and nautical science degree programs, postgraduate programs and other courses in collaboration with foreign universities as well. The degree courses are approved by the Directorate General of Shipping, Government of India, MLIT, Japan and MPA, Singapore. The BTech Marine Engineering BSc Nautical Science degrees and the Diploma in Nautical Science are presented by the esteemed Indian Maritime University. There are hosts of other short-term courses like Electro-Technical Officers course, Command and Control course, and other safety-related courses.
At TMI, our focus is to achieve excellence in shipping and maritime techniques.
But what makes this possible and what creates world-class mariners? It is the holistic impact of the state-of-the-art campus and the overall infrastructure that renders the Institute matchless. The Institute sits in the laps of rural nature, which has enhanced its charm. The Institute benefits aesthetically and academically thanks to a beautiful lake in its midst. The lovely meditation garden on the hill keeps a vigil on the lake. Swimming is an integral part of the training, which is adjacent to the clubhouse. Outdoor sports like football, cricket, basketball, volleyball, athletics, squash, etc., and other indoor games are made available on this campus. The Institute has 4 well-equipped compact catamaran sailboats to give the students a glimpse of life on high seas.
Together we share some really nice moments of our life.
With the aim to develop sturdy and healthy mariners, comfortable hostel facility serves them in the best way. The hostel buildings have television rooms, activity areas, and well-equipped gyms. The Institute features excellent academic facilities. The Institute has well-equipped laboratories for demonstrating and teaching the principles of material testing, mechanics, hydraulics, electric control systems, electronic equipment, and electric machinery. The world-class engineering systems on the campus like Prabhu Vidya, High Voltage Lab, Hydraulic Lab, Hazard Simulation Lab, Full Mission Simulators, etc. fulfill the requirements of aspiring mariners. Can you imagine some of these systems are almost a replica of the real shipboard equipments? This is an Equal Opportunity Institute. The students are offered merit and need-cum merit scholarships worth over $160,000 per year. Additionally, many shipping companies also offer merit-based scholarships.
As a student and an aspiring mariner, this is the most amazing and apt place I could have been.
But the linking bridge between all these elements of the Institute and the students is the faculty.
The values that we imbibe here is attitude, skill and knowledge that is asked at TMI. These values along with safety come together to create successful mariners.
The skilled and experienced faculty at Tolani Maritime Institute is guiding light for the proud future mariners.
The courses we offer at TMI for the undergraduate programs allow the students to identify, explore, and understand areas where his or her true passion lies, the exciting profession of seafaring.
The professional and qualified full-time faculty leaves no stone unturned to instill pride, integrity, determination, humbleness, and in-depth knowledge about shipping and maritime operations in the would-be marine officers. After all, it takes more than just the love for swimming to make you equal when the sea presents its worst best.
TMI has a glorious legacy of training the brightest aspiring seafarers.
But why do students go through these 4 years of grueling training? To tame the seas and for admiration, respect and honor which come with donning the uniform adorned with stars. It is a job worth toiling for. Some of these students go on to become the guardians of India's formidable coastline. The innovative internship cum placements program at the Institute gives its students an edge over the others. The recruiting companies have no second thoughts on hiring students from the Institute. A majority of students enjoy a permanent employment with some of the top-notch national and international shipping companies.
I believe that this is where the bright future of shipping and maritime industry in India is assured.
The journey, though, definitely does not end here. It is still a long way to go, and they have to prove their mettle. The canvas is huge, the battle challenging. It has been rightly said that you can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. That will surely not be a tough task for graduates from this institute. They have the strong foundation of training at one of the best maritime institutes in India. Any ocean, any ship is easy to fathom when your alma mater is Tulani Maritime Institute.
Every single time we as cadets see glances of our campus, we start missing being there even more so. Truly, the rich legacy of our college, the foundational strength coming from the common culture followed at TMI, the culture of attitude, skill, and knowledge has made our institute stand out and a source of delivering quality marine officers. Next up, I would request Mr. Anirudh Kumar, convener, Transtech, to deliver his inaugural speech.
Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Ketan Kotecha, Chairperson, Governing Council members, Dr. Gopinath Chandroth, all the dignitaries, colleagues, participants, online viewers, and cadets. Good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. As convener of Transtech, please allow me to provide some information about the event. All India Seminar Transtech is organized by Tolani Maritime Institute, Pune, in association with the Institute of Marine Engineers, Pune branch, and the Institution of Engineers, Pune Local Center. It has been successfully conducted since 2007. The word Transtech is derived from two words, transportation and technology. In view of the ongoing pandemic, this year we decided to conduct it online as a webinar. It is a seminar for the students of maritime as well as non-maritime engineering colleges across the country and offers a platform for technical paper presentation as well as model making. International shipping is backbone of the world trade today. It carries about 90% of the global trade. Over 150 flag states have more than 50,000 ships registered for international shipping, and they are manned by more than 1 million seafarers. Ships emit approximately 15% NOx, 13% SOx, 2.2% CO2 of the total emissions from anthropogenic sources. Although emission per ton mile by shipping is relatively small, it still have a lot of potential to reduce it and be part of sustainable mode of transportation by adopting various means like hull form optimization, energy saving devices, structural optimization, lightweight construction, efficient machinery technology, improved fuel efficiency, etc. Cleanliness of the oceans must be maintained by following MARPOL regulations strictly. In line with IMO objectives, we, therefore, chose efficient shipping on clean oceans as a main theme this year. The main aim of this event is to expose the students to these kinds of technical programs to generate quest for knowledge and inspire them to achieve excellence in their professional career. Therefore, along with technical paper presentation, we also have online model display competition. This year it is online. The prizes distribution will be on Friday, that is third day in the valedictory function. The first, second, and third prizes for the technical paper presentation, which amounts to about 20,000 rupees, has been sponsored by the Institute of Marine Engineers, Pune branch, and rest prizes for the models and others have been sponsored by TMI itself. In coming days of the event, we have invited talks by eminent personalities. We will be enlightened by inaugural speech by chief guest and keynote speaker Dr. Ketan Kotecha in a short while on the topic AI for all, that is artificial intelligence for all. He is director of Symbiosis Institute of Technology and head of Symbiosis Center for Applied Artificial Intelligence. There will be a technical talk on blue economy by guest speaker Captain Gajanan Karanjikar tomorrow. He is president of All Indian Maritime Pilots Association and head of coastal shipping, Seacal Logistics Limited. On third day, keynote speaker Dr. Sanjay E. Talole will deliver a technical talk on disturbance estimation and rejection-based control of marine vessels. He is scientist G and group director of Systems and Controls Group at Research and Development Establishment Engineers at DRDO Pune. It will be followed by another speech on third day by chief guest Dr. Gopinath Chandroth on the topic marine accident investigation. He is accredited marine accident investigation investigator at Marine Accident Investigation Branch, United Kingdom. We received 47 full-length papers this year on the given sub-themes. We had 8 sub-themes and we received it from 8 institutes across India. And finally, we selected 12 papers for presentation, finally. While selecting the paper, we also kept in mind the diversification of topics and representation to be given to various institutes as far as possible. These papers were reviewed, moderated, and assessed by members of our technical committee of Transtech based on technical merit, originality, proper format as per guidelines, and language. Lots of efforts were put by Dr. Dhiren Dave, Professor Pawan Jadhav, Professor Ganesh Ingle, and other technical committee members. It was indeed a tough task of selection. These papers will be presented in 3 technical sessions. Each paper will be given 12 minutes of duration for presentation, followed by question answer session for 3 minutes. The participants please note this timing. The technical paper presentation will now be judged on the basis of presentation skill, students' understanding of the subject, time management, answer given to the questions after the presentation. I request all the participating students to avoid spilling over the allocated time of 12 minutes so that we can stick to the scheduled timing of the event. Please note that time management is also part of your assessment. Participating students must remember that your presentation here in the event is not the only criteria for prizes. The technical merit of the full-length paper as assessed by the reviewers is also taken into considerations for the final result and prizes. There are 5 technical models also. The recorded videos of those 5 models will be played online on third day, and that will be followed by a brief question answer session. So that question answer session will also have some weightage on the marking. Needless to say, Transtech is a program for the students, hence we would expect and appreciate active participation from the students in asking questions. The faculty and guests may supplement with additional information to the answers given by the presenters. With this note, I would like to conclude and hope we will have a very interesting and informative sessions. I wish everyone a very successful and fruitful seminar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wishes. Being the large-scale event that it is, Transtech provides everyone an opportunity to display a technical array of their talents. Like every year, Kalani Maritime Institute organizes a video making competition attracting positive competition among the participants and receiving one winner. Presenting to you the official video for Transtech 2021 by Cadet Dipan Srivastav of first year NS.
Wow, wasn't that exciting? Someone has rightfully said, without seafarers and the shipping industry, half of the world would starve, while the other half would freeze. What a well presented, informative, and interesting video. Please give Cadet Deepansh Srivastav a hearty round of applause in the chat box or through the reactions. I would now request Mr. Bhalchandra Chandakkar, Chairman, Institute of Marine Engineers, Pune, to address the meeting.
Good morning. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Ketan Kotecha, Dr. Gopinath Chandroth, Captain Krishnamurti Iyer, Dr. K.K. Ghosh, judges, distinguished colleagues, and students. At the outset, I'm grateful for the support of TMI to the Institute of Marine Engineers body and feel proud to be part of this August gathering at the inauguration of Transtech 2021. As we all can see, Tolani Maritime Institute has been putting its heart and soul into hosting this annual mega event for years now successfully, and offers a well-known national common platform for engineering students in all fields to present technical papers on various topics of interest and help students to exchange ideas on the latest technical developments in various disciplines while also researching them. Even in this difficult times of COVID, TMI has been doing an exemplary job to train the cadets to world standards and conduct the regular activities in the same zeal and fervor like before. Let me tell you something about the Institute of Marine Engineers. It was established in 1977 and is a body of professional marine engineers, an independent, non-profit distributing organization. IMEI is a learned professional and membership body committed to the promotion, development, and advancement of education and research in the field of marine engineering and upholding the status and competence of marine professionals. IMEI has presently a membership exceeding 12,000 members spread all over the globe, and they include the top decision makers in the maritime industry working in ship management, shipbuilding, ship repairs, flag administrations, classification societies, ports and terminals, the offshore industry, Navy, Coast Guard, manufacturing and the utility industry, equipment makers, and so on. IMEI is an active collaboration with international bodies like SNAME, IMREST, CMMI, and the global partner with WMTC. So being a member of this institute has its own advantage of developing a professional competency on a continual basis throughout one's career as a marine engineer. Access to relevant information to keep abreast of technical advances, changes to statutory requirements, and current best practices in the marine sector, which helps with your learning and career progression. IMEI and Tolani Maritime Institute have been associated right from the inception stages of this institute and go a long way to have a mutually fulfilling association. This year's theme, Efficient Shipping on Clean Oceans, is quite relevant for getting a better understanding of the present day changed circumstances and solutions to be sought to make life better at sea for all the students. I wish the seminar a grand success and my greetings and compliments to all the organizing team. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chandakar. Your presence is always a very reassuring presence at Transtech events. Our next speaker, Professor Ghosh, Unfortunately, he had a commitment, so the meeting has come up. He was unable to log in up till now. We would love to hear from him once he joins. But of course, the continued patronage and guidance of both the Institution of Engineers and the Institute of Marine Engineers means a lot to us, lot to all of us at Tolani Maritime Institute. It's indeed an honor to introduce our chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Ketan Kotecha, Director, Symbiosis Institute of Technology. Sir, at the very outset, let me inform you that we, the faculty of Tolani Maritime Institute, have been keen learners of the various webinars conducted by Symbiosis in the past few months, including the one that was conducted about 3 weeks back on reimagining internationalization, blended education as a catalyst. Even though I must admit the title was a bit of a tongue twister, the 4-day webinar enriched all of us, and we do treasure the experience. And that is exactly why it is such a great privilege for us as we conduct our first virtual Tech Fest, Transtech 2021, in the webinar mode, to have you, sir, the head Symbiosis Center for Applied AI, as our chief guest. For the benefit of our participants and attendees, let me briefly introduce our chief guest, who is an avid researcher, an administrator, a teacher of deep learning, a pioneer in education technology, and who believes in innovative teaching learning practices. Dr. Kotecha, an alumni of IIT Bombay, has expertise and experience of cutting-edge research and projects in AI and deep learning of more than 25 years. He has published more than 100 papers in a number of excellent peer-reviewed journals on various topics ranging from artificial intelligence, education policies, teaching learning practices, and the topic on what he will be speaking today, AI for all. Under the scheme of promotion for academic and research collaboration by the Ministry of Human Resources and Development, Government of India, he is a recipient of 2 projects worth rupees 166 lakhs in artificial intelligence in collaboration with the Arizona State University, USA, and the University of Queensland, Australia. Dr. Kotecha has published 3 patents and is a recipient of numerous awards, such as the Erasmus Faculty Mobility Grants from the European Union, Leadership for Academicians Program at the Cambridge University, UK, the Duo India Professors Fellowship for Research in Responsible AI in collaboration with the Brunel University, UK, a grant from the Royal Academy of Engineering, UK, under the Newton Bhabha Fund, amongst others. He has also delivered keynote speeches at various national and international forums, such as the Machine Intelligence Lab, USA, at IIT Bombay and the World Bank Project, at the International Indian Science Festival organized by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. And today, we at TMI will have the privilege of learning from his keynote address. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, please flood your chat box to welcome Dr. Ketan Kotecha. But before his address, we have 2 unveilings to accomplish. And may I now request the following to please keep your cameras on. Our chief guest, Dr. Ketan Kotecha, Captain Iyer, Principal, Tolani Maritime Institute, Mr. Chandakar, Chairman, Institute of Marine Engineers, Pune Branch, Mr. Anirudh Kumar, Convener, Transtech 2021, and from TMI, Mrs. Swati Bhise, Mr. Pawan Jadhav, Mr. Dhiren Dave, and Mr. Ganesh Shingle. Please keep your cameras on, please. We have an online release of the Transtech 2021 proceedings. Dr. Kotecha, sir, I request your permission to release the book of proceedings on your behalf, sir.
Yes, it's my pleasure to be.
Thank you very much. Rahul, all yours.
Oh, great. Oh, very nice. Yes.
So, Kevin, can you aim and shoot all of them, please? Rahul, will you stop sharing?
You ask them to switch on their cameras again, all of them involved.
Who's missing here?
Okay, I'll just take it. Rahul, can you share the screen?
Rahul, please do not stop sharing the screen. Keep the screen on.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. We will also use this opportunity to release the TMI Technical Bulletin, the Bulletin of Marine Science and Technology at this time. A bulletin whose writer, producer, director, and actors are all the Technical Publication Committee of TMI. I request the committee members, headed by Dr. Nitin Junnarkar, to switch on your cameras, please. That is Dr. Nitin Junnarkar, Ms. Dr. Sanjay Dabadgaonkar, Mrs. Unnati Chaudhary, Commander Bhaskar Walimbe, Mr. Vaibhav Karlekar, Dr. Shrikant Madiwale, and Mrs. Pratibha Kaninde. Others, please keep your cameras on only. All those were asked, requested earlier, please keep your cameras on. Plus, the gentleman from the Technical Publication Committee, please start your cameras. Honorable Chief Guest, sir, I request your permission once again to release the Bulletin on Marine Science and Technology 2021 on your behalf, sir.
Yes, it's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much, sir. So Rahul, could we unveil the technical bulletin, please? Okay, Kevin, you've got more people to shoot at now. Take better aim. Rahul, keep the sharing on only, please.
If Pratibha can switch on her camera.
Pratibha, ma'am, could you put on your camera, please? She's got both her audio and video off. Okay.
Okay, I've got Huola there.
Yeah, okay, fine. The technical journal Bulletin of Marine Science and Technology in its 2021 version is the 14th issue. The bulletin has been assigned International Standard Serial Number on the 12th of February 2009 by the National Institute of Science, Communication and Research, New Delhi. A reflection of our intellectual strength, this journal is used to communicate ideas to the students, the colleagues, and to our scientific community at large. So thank you all ladies and gentlemen who have switched on your cameras. Only Dr. Kotecha, sir, you don't have the permission to put off your cameras, because now I request you to deliver our much awaited keynote address on Transtech 2021 AI for All. Over to you, sir.
Okay. So good morning, all of you. First of all, thanks to Professor Iyer, Professor Dave, and others for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to share my views here. I thank Captain Indranath, who has given a very, very nice introduction and very innovative way of releasing souvenirs and other stuff. I was really impressed by the video of the institute. I think we are missing that physically we could not come to the institute and see the luxury the students are getting while studying at the institute. It's really, really very impressive. And more impressive was the video made by the student for this particular event. It's really simply superb, I would say, because I have been inaugurating such kind of student event here and there, maybe every fortnight. But I think it was very unique and very energetic. so that the energy will last for next 3 days. So congratulations to the students, and I'm sure the mentors, faculty members who have taken a huge pain for arranging this particular 3 days event. I will start with my talk. I think I need to get a right for screen sharing, or you need to stop yours.
Yeah, we'll just need to stop ours. Okay, Rahul, we can stop our sharing. It's all yours.
Yeah, I'm getting. Yeah, so the topic given to me today is AI for all. I'm sure it's visible. The screen is visible. Yeah. So I'll be next 45 minutes or so. I'll be trying to tell you where the AI is used. And believe me, while seeing the video of the institute and the way in which the things are working for BTech, a 4-year program in maritime engineering, I could see a lot of potential of applying artificial intelligence in various fronts. In fact, I got 8 to 10 ideas. I was just noting down that where AI can be used along with maritime engineering for research and for application. Right. So I'll be telling you something a little bit about that because I'm actually novice as far as maritime engineering is concerned. But AI is a tool, and that's what, there are applications all across. That's what you will also see in this particular talk. I will not try to go into details of theory, being in first talk. My goal will be to ignite all of you so that you will realize that AI is like a Microsoft Word where everyone should know that. And then once you have a domain knowledge, you can use AI to solve a particular problem. I have seen optimization problem which you people are solving, or maybe preventing maintenance kind of problem you are solving, or drone will be used in, I'm sure, maritime, a lot of security related issues. So everywhere now AI can be used. So I'll be trying to intervene that as well. This is just a disclaimer. So the journey of artificial intelligence is not new. Right now, people are feeling that AI is in limelight, so it is just a new invention, but it is not true. In 1950, it was in existence. There was a journal of artificial neural network in 1950 as well. But there are something have happened, and that's what it is in more limelight right now. So 1950 to 1980, it was very much popular as artificial intelligence. From 1980 till 2010, it was popular as machine learning. And now because of deep learning, it has become more popular. So what are these terminologies? The first thing, artificial intelligence is nothing but, if computer is also demonstrating some IQ like human being for a particular task, we say that machine is acquiring some intelligence, and because it is artificial intelligence. So as simple as that. I'm not going in the definition which are bookish definitions. But now, like human beings, once you perform particular task, you learn as well. It's based on your failures and success, right? While performing, while taking some decision, or after you take a decision in future, you will learn that your decision was right or wrong, and then you learn and use that particular learning for the future decisions. Likewise, if the machine is also doing the same, whereby while performing a particular task, if machine is also learning, it is said to have a machine learning or artificial machine learning, right? And that was popular in 1980 to 2010, where machine has also started learning like human beings. But something has happened in 2010 onwards. There are two different things happened particularly. One is automation. So huge amount of data started coming. Before that, there was hardly an automation, but now after 2010, there is a massive automation. Moles have opened, so you can see that all the transactions are recorded. So all this data started coming to the computer scientists. Second, there is a huge advancement in the computer hardware. So computers have become extremely fast. I remember when I was in IIT Bombay in even year 2000, my total hard disk size was 4 MB, right? And right now people are talking about GBs in RAM, right? So in just 20 years of time, there's a huge shift. Whatever was having an IIT Bombay server, now everyone is having in their iPhone. That kind of memory transition has happened in last 20 years of time. So there's a huge infrastructure has been built up, computing power has been built up, and huge data has also been flowed. And there's something has emerged which is called deep learning. right? And that deep learning is creating magic right now. If I want to tell you the difference between machine learning and deep learning in layman's language, in machine learning, you need to specify a computer, what you want computer to do. Also, you need to specify how you would like to do it, right? So how machine should achieve what you want machine to do. That is machine learning. But in case of deep learning, you are just asking a computer what you want computer to do. You are not specifying a method to do that. That method is also being found and learned by machine by using the data which is available and by computational power. And that's what the limitations of machine learning, which was limited by the human intelligence, is not there in case of deep learning. And that's what it is extremely powerful. You can imagine I need not to specify computer how to solve a particular program. I need to just ask a computer to solve a particular program or particular problem, right? And that is deep learning. Seems very exaggerated, but it is working right now. One of the example I can give is if you want to design an aircraft right now, you need not to specify actual design of an aircraft to AutoCAD or any other software. You need to give all kinds of principles, aerodynamics principles, Newton's law, everything and constraints of that aircraft, and machine will come up with the indigenous design automatically. That is called generative designs, which are possible easily right now because of deep learning. So your SEEP design, I'm sure you need not to design that SEEP a priori. You need to give all the constraints and the machine will come up with the best possible design for a particular SEEP, which is not difficult now, and that is deep learning, right? So that's what it is more popular. Ultimately, the umbrella term is artificial intelligence only. Within that subset is machine learning. Within that is deep learning, which is most powerful right now and most popular as well. If I go on giving the applications, these are all the areas, not even exhaustive, where machine learning or deep learning is applied. For example, banking and finance, there's a heavy usage of artificial intelligence in fraud detections and in all the transactions. Transportation industry is very intelligent now. I'm sure everyone knows that intelligent transportation system is in right now current reality. In retail spaces, there are all retailers are using a lot of AI to give a lot of schemes to all of you. That is also artificial intelligence. In education, I'm sure plagiarism checking or taking the online examination, on proctored examination online by an AI software is in reality now. Our online examinations for the entrance test is governed by AI softwares. All communication is related to AI. Your Gmail uses lot of artificial intelligence. Even the 3 replies once the email arrives to you, if there is an automatic 3 replies suggested to you, that is also using artificial intelligence. Gaming, I'm sure all of us, not only the kids, we are all addicted to, and that is definitely because of AI. Media industry, finding the fake news is a very important challenge right now for the media, and all other related things related in media is because of artificial intelligence. Hospitality, entertainment. In entertainment, there are movies where there are no characters, only the cartoons are or other characters are present, which are definitely AI based. At workplace, robots are available. It can clean our house right now. Mobile, you do anything and everything in mobile is artificial intelligence. Even you try to talk to someone on a phone about some new application, you will get an advertisement of that application next day. So that much is, AI is used in mobile phone as well. Sports, very recently, Anil Kumble has started an sports academy, which is AI Academy. Using artificial intelligence, he teaches the next generation cricketers how to hit a ball, how to use and how to swing a bat, based on a lot of combinations which AI does. Once other players are playing, for example, if Virendra Sehwag is playing or Virat Kohli is playing, that particular analysis is done, and for the new player, it has been taught how to play. So that total new academy Anil Kumble has started, which is AI-based cricket academy. I'm sure you can search that on Google. Aerospace engineering, I already given an example. If you want to design a totally new aircraft, definitely it's possible indigenously using a deep learning algorithm. Online shopping recommendations, all kinds of AI is used. In fact, AI is in such a phase right now that I always tell that Google and WhatsApp knows more about you compared to your mom right now. Your mom may not be knowing several things about you, but Google definitely knows everything about you, what you do, whom you chat. Before 5 years, who was your friend, and now who is your friend? Everything Google knows, may not be your mom is knowing. In healthcare industry is booming totally because of AI right now. I'll be giving you a couple of examples in my slides. The maximum use of AI is in banking and agriculture. In agriculture, there are a lot of examples whereby if you want to decide pesticides to be used for a particular crop, or crop is ready or not. Even if you want to segregate the best quality potatoes from the total quantity of the potato for making a McDonald's French fries, it's done using image processing, which is done using deep learning. In UK, I have seen that live application whereby there is a stack of potatoes, and by taking the photographs of potatoes, the best quality is segregated automatically, and that is used by McDonald's for creating a French fries. In real estate, you need not to visit an house. You get everything at your home and virtual reality, and you can move around inside the house. You can decide this house you want to buy remotely. Social networks is continuously 100% controlled by artificial intelligence. All kinds of tagging, pin interest, chat bots, whatever you do, that is all AI. In defense, unmanned aerial vehicles, we are doing some projects here as well on that. There is a lot of use of artificial intelligence in drone, particularly imaginary. Right now there's a huge amount of usage of artificial intelligence. Smart homes, cybersecurity, everywhere there is a use of AI. And insurance, the next generation insurance, you'll be surprised to know that it's linked with your daily schedule. If you're not going for exercise, your insurance premium is going to be higher, right? So you'll be tracked completely for your exercise, not only gym exercise. You may be playing 1 hour tennis, that is also considered as exercise, that is also fine. But in absence of that, your insurance premium will be jumped to higher level, right? So there are next generation insurance coming, because they feel that if you are not taking care about your own body, why insurance companies should take about your insurance, right? Event management, politics and government, as we know that Narendra Modi uses a lot of social media, or Obama has won the elections, presidential elections, because of social media. So these are non-exhaustive applications of artificial intelligence. Just I'm putting here to just give you an idea that if this can be solved, a lot of other problems in your area, in your maritime engineering or your particular area of interest, you can also apply artificial intelligence, right? And this is non-exhaustive list of applications. So I already told what is artificial intelligence. I will skip that in the couple of in earlier slides. Once you jump into artificial intelligence, there are 3 categories of algorithms. I'm not going in detail. I'm going to tell you that is in a layman's language. The first category of algorithm is supervised learning, which is like a classroom teaching, whereby teacher is teaching in a classroom and students are learning, and based on the response of the students, based on the gestures of the students, teacher will correct the direction of teaching, right? So that's the supervised learning. So this is the same way you can teach machine as well. In machine, you just give some input images of apple and then give a new kind of apple, and machine will recognize this is apple. So this is a supervised learning. There are hundreds of algorithms which will deal under this supervised category, which are used to solve some of the applications which I told in the first slide. So one category of learning algorithms or teaching algorithms for a computer under artificial intelligence are supervised learning algorithms. The second category of algorithms, which are also extremely popular now, and they are unsupervised learning algorithms, which is like video lecture, or maybe a lecture right now which is getting delivered. There is no ideally a feedback, unfortunately, but still I'm sure something you are learning. So that is unsupervised way of learning. Or if you are enrolling a course online or learning something from MOOC courses, that is an unsupervised way of learning. There's definitely learning even though there is no feedback. So here there is no feedback. You see, there are nobody specifying which is apple and which is different kind of fruit. But then computer also, based on the patterns, it segregates and cluster 3 different categories of fruit. So this is a second category of learning, which is called unsupervised learning. So several algorithms are developed under this unsupervised learning as well. which are used to solve some of the applications which I told. And the third and very important category is reinforcement learning, which is learning by mistakes, where you are giving some input and asking some question to the computer is asking some question, and based on the response, the answer is correct or not, it will learn. Right, so it's a question answering ability, which is considered to be one of the best abilities. The student must ask a lot of questions in the classroom, and then based on that, whatever is the learn, it is always considered to be the best compared to supervised or unsupervised learning. So that is reinforcement learning. So robotic related application and gaming applications are based on this kind of learning. So if you study the course on artificial intelligence online or offline, or if you do even degree, we offer a BTech in AI in our institute right now, 4-year degree programming artificial intelligence. But all the 4 years is running around all these 3 different philosophy of learning: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. At the layman's language, this is supervised learning, where mom is teaching something. This is unsupervised, kid is learning itself, and this is reinforced learning. Right, so I'm sure after seeing that you will not forget the difference of these 3. This is reinforced learning. Mom used to be increasing the distance once the kid is trying to walk, right? So that is learning from success and failures. So that is reinforcement learning. And there in deep learning, which is very recent phenomenon, recent I mean last 1 decade, there are 3 major algorithms, which is called convolution neural network, recurrent neural network, and generative adversarial networks. I'm not going in detail, but convolution neural network are extremely good at processing images to that level that if you taken 3 photographs of a satellite of a Pune city, you will be able to map each and every street of Pune city. That much resolution power is there in the convolution neural network. I'm not exaggerating at all. And then recurrent neural networks are extremely good at processing of the text. All the chatbot application, Alexa, or Google Home, or other text processing applications like converting English to German, all of them are based on recurrent neural network. And third category is generative adversarial networks. They are magical, powerful networks under deep learning, and they can do a lot of stuffs, including they can produce your own handwriting, which I'll give you the application very, very soon. So these are some of the applications which are solved using artificial intelligence. You can put a camera and you can identify each and every car, not only the car, you can identify the nameplate, which is interfaced with maybe the some department, and you can find out everything related to that particular car, right? So this kind of problems we have already solved for Indian Army as well by our students. BOT is an example of recurrent neural network. And as I mentioned, generative adversarial networks are magical. To your surprise, if you give this statement as an input, the bird is red and brown and something, the computer will draw this picture. That is possible. You give a statement that you are in Switzerland and your photograph will be drawn as if you are in Switzerland. I'm not exaggerating. So that much power is there with GAN. In fact, because it is so powerful, it is so popular right now, right? So this is one of the application of GAN, whereby from the text you can generate the image as well. Of course, after some training. There are more applications, particularly in finance. Fraud detection is one of the most important application in finance, which is used if you have an international credit card which is completely enabled, but you are not using it since last 6 months, but you suddenly try to do a transaction, it will prevent you. The algorithm will tell you that something is getting wrong. It will give you at least one time alert, and then you try to do it again, it will allow. So that kind of things are possible right now, which is an outlier detection, because you are not doing generally the international transaction, and if you do it once, it will immediately find out that even though the card is not disabled, it is completely enabled for an international transaction. So that's really helpful to us for detecting a fraud. And so many other things like algorithmic trading is very popular right now, that in masses you can buy the stock and you can sell, and that all these things is done by computer algorithm, no human beings are involved. So a lot of applications in finance. is possible. Smart city, our city Pune is going to be the smart, or Ahmedabad is going to be the smart city. So smart city means all the components inside must be the smarter, the smart government, maybe a smart manufacturing, industry 4.0, maybe smart hospitals, smart healthcare facilities, smart buildings, right? So all these things must be smart. And so everywhere, wherever there is a word smart, there is a component of artificial intelligence. So it's a huge scope, every direction right now, in case of, AI as a tool. Even intelligent transportation system, which is next right now, using the Google map or giving the traffic, is not only the AI. It's definitely AI, but there are next level of ITS which are coming up, whereby vehicle to vehicle there'll be communication. My car will talk to your car and decide the next course of action, right? My car will decide and interact with the next ambulance which is going on the same road and decide the next course of action, because it's going to be autonomous vehicle, right? So this is coming up in a huge way right now, and that is all because of AI. Augmented reality, and now in COVID times, it is most important. Your plant is located somewhere. You don't want to go to the plant. At your home, you can see the plant in a 3D way. You can operate the entire plant as well. Whatever you do here on a virtual computer or iPad or tablet, it will be done exactly physically in that plant as well. So that is an augmented reality. It's become possible because of several technologies, including artificial intelligence. Even people are talking about digital twin. Whatever you do in the plant, there is a simulation available, so that in simulation you can do a lot of control mechanism as well. For example, your CP is moving and exactly in a physical world, but there is a clone of that SIP in a virtual world as well. And virtual world, you can do a lot of experimentation on that particular SIP, and you can do some predictive maintenance or predictive analysis, so that actually once it happens to the SIP, you can do it a priori right now, and you know what is going to happen to your SIP. So that is not difficult now, and that is an application of AI for digital twin, right? So I'm sure you will learn that maybe in the final year or some advanced courses in your BTech program as well. Manufacturing, there's a huge usage. Once I was seeing the video of your institute, very, very impressive video. I could see that there is a lot of scope for predictive maintenance. Because your SIP can go wrong, maybe because of wear and tear, and there are a lot of other possible problems. You can predict a priori that problems by putting sensors all across in the SIP and finding out that after 15 days, this particular problem is going to happen. So there's a planned maintenance can be done right now. That is a huge advantage of doing so. I'm sure you will prevent the disasters as well using that. So I would say I see that there's a huge potential of applying AI for predictive maintenance in your SIP or otherwise, right? And there are so many other directions in which you can apply AI to increase the production, to increase the supply chain. I think supply chain is also one of the important areas you may be working upon. So there also is a huge usage of AI. These I was telling about generative design, that this particular is indigenously produced by AI algorithm by giving only the constraints of that, and it is an optimized design. It's found to be the most optimal design based on the constraints which are given, right? Or seat brackets are found automatically by the computer algorithms, which is an example of deep learning. Healthcare, it is used in predictive analytics. Any particular disease before it happens, before it affects to the person, or remaining useful life prediction. A lot of places in AI is used in healthcare, and it is need of the day because doctors are less. I'm not telling that it's going to replace the healthcare workers, but it is definitely helping hand to the doctors so that it can increase the efficiency. There are a lot of cases where very difficult surgeries are done by robots. A virtual nursing assistant can do the job of an actual nurse. At least 90% of the work can be done, and a lot of other things in AI in healthcare as well. I'm sure everyone knows this particular picture is the most popular picture which Google has developed. By scanning the retina of a particular person, in just 5 seconds, you can find out 6 parameters of a particular person. His BMI, his sex, smoking habits, age, everything. by taking just a picture of retina of any person in the world, right? So this particular project Google has developed in Bangalore by taking the lot of data of Indian people and then sold it back to the Bangalore, that particular machine, right? And this can also predict the cardiovascular risk of a particular person by just scanning the retina. So that much is the power of convolution neural network. That's what I'm trying to tell. I'm sure you know this car manufacturer, Veripos car manufacturer Porsche, that they are now into making robots which can do surgery as well. There is no exaggeration in the slides. Whatever is available right now, I am trying to tell that this much is the power of artificial intelligence. Wearable devices, I'm sure, is nothing new now, which definitely uses a lot of AI. In Stanford University, they have used AI to find out the flares, the solar flares. They predict it very well, right? So this paper is published in Nature, and it's a very, very important finding from the Stanford University. There is a band which is developed, which is of AI, completely autonomous. If you are in another room, you can't find out that there are no human beings playing the band, right? And that's a test of AI, Turing test, where you should not be able to find out that there is no human beings there, right? So that is also AI. So what I'm trying to give, I'm not trying to give you the application per se for your domain, but a very general view where AI has been used so that you can think and you can find out where you want to use AI for a particular domain. Agriculture, I given an example of McDonald's, but in every facet of agriculture, it has been used. Health monitoring of a particular crop, either it's an irrigation schedule, crop classification, or crop yield, or disease detection. Just on a mobile phone, you move on a particular farm, take the photographs and find out that is there any disease, is there disease coming up, so that you can use pesticides and preventive mechanisms for that particular disease. That is possible easily now, right now. Readiness of the crop is possible. Even I have seen that if there is a wheat stack, huge stack of wheat, take a photograph and find out how many kgs of wheat are there. There is no need to do a weight of that, right? So that is easily possible. It's a very simple possible application for AI, in fact, which is used for agriculture. This is an indigenous work, and it is possible. You can try also. You just search on Alex Graves. He's a student of Toronto University. He has developed this particular application, which is available to try as well. What is his application? What he has done, he has written a lot of notes, because he's a student, a lot of notes he has written, and he trained the AI algorithm, right, for that particular notes. After that, he speaks in front of a computer and computer types, right, which is not difficult, which is very simple. Right now also we don't type for a WhatsApp types, you just speak. But the beauty here is the handwriting. These particular fonts are not available in any of the editor. These are his own handwriting, which are created by a computer. There is absolutely no exaggeration here. This handwriting style was totally captured by deep learning algorithm. It means what? You can write in your handwriting while you speak. Computer can write in your handwriting. That is possible now. So that is very, very scary. So checkbook signatures are invalid, in fact. And this particular application was developed and demonstrated before 3 to 4 years now. And you can try that on searching by Alex Graves. It will type in your handwriting, right? So this is a power of deep learning right now, whereby even your handwriting are not safe. And not only that, if you read the story of this particular, if you read this blog, it is also written that this handwriting were sent to US Forensic Laboratory, and US Forensic Laboratory was not been able to tell that this is not written by a human being and it is by a computer, right? So it is impossible to even find out that as well. This email replies, once you get an email, you get 3 replies. There's a suggestions, right? This is AI application, which was developed by a student, and this is acquired by Google in $1 million, right? Which was a startup, X.AI, right? This is not a random replies which are created. If you are a boss, if you are trying to reply every time yes, your first answer will be yes. If you are a very negative boss, and if you reject most of the time applications, and if you write no sorry, then your first answer will be always no sorry. If you are a very good person, if you write yes over a cup of coffee, after 15 days, your first reply suggestion will be yes over a cup of coffee. So it not only gives the suggestion, it finds out your replying style and gives the suggestions accordingly. Right? If you write yes over a cup of tea for 15 days, your first option will be yes over a cup of tea automatically. So it's very scary that way, that it knows how you generally type and how you reply to the people, and that way it gives the suggestions to you. So that is definitely an AI algorithm. Game design, I'm sure everyone is addicted to. All the games uses a lot of AI. Your facial expression recognition is a very simple application now, where computer can find out your expressions. There are a lot of projects done on basis of that if a video is taken right now in the classroom where the students are studying, then we can analyze the sentiments of a class, right? And teacher can be guided based on their sentiments. That is also possible. All these characters, enemy characters, are created indigenously by AI algorithm, because you cannot take a character from a Google and make a movie, right? It's a copyright violation. You need to have an indigenous character which are not available on Google, right? So these are created by Carnegie Mellon University indigenously, and then they have been placed in the movie. In fact, there is a software available whereby software asks 10 different questions, and based on your questions, it generates the logo for a company. If you are starting your own company, you need to find out your own new logo, which cannot be copied from elsewhere. So based on your theme you want to put, based on your emotions you want to put in the logo, based on the product you are going to develop, computer asks some 10 different questions and it suggests some of the logos to you, right? So that is also an indigenous application of artificial intelligence. Visual question answering is now very popular because it's an online teaching. So there's a picture given and student is asked this, and the answer is also produced by the computer, right? And match with the answer which is given by the students. So visual question answering is also an application of deep learning. I have last 5 minutes, 3 minutes rather. So I'll go through some of the applications which are edge devices, which are available in the market. All these products are available in the market. There's a fork available, which is embedded AI. So how fast you eat, it is monitored by this, and it will tell you that you are a very fast eater. It's not good for your health, right? So Happy Fork is available. Smart toothbrush is available. How you brush your teeth, it will analyze and it will store. Most of the time we are wrong in brushing our teeth. Maybe it should be vertical or horizontal. Still we have a doubt. I'm sure a lot of people are not doing the proper that one. So that particular guidance is given. Total analysis of that, maybe twice a day or thrice a day you should brush or not. Everything is pre-programmed, and AI algorithm analyzes that and gives you the guidance. Smart hydroponic system, where if you are having indoor plant, completely you can control using AI algorithm. Smart sprinkler control, based on the soil, based on the moisture, based on the weather condition, your lawn will be kept green. That continuous controlling is done by AI algorithm. Smart home security, I'm sure everyone is knowing this, and it is in high demand right now. Very similar to Anil Kumble's Academy. If you want to learn this particular game, then how to swing your bat, how fast, which direction, when which kind of ball is coming. So everything is being taught, analyzed, and you can learn. Smart sleep system, I'm sure everyone is using Fitbit, that how better you slept yesterday night. Then smart cooker, so you need to control how many whistles or exact cooking is done, it will stop automatically. So that is also AI application. Again, keeping the tradition of Anil Kumble's cricket, if you want to learn tennis, this tennis racket comes with a lot of AI inside, and after you play the game, it analyzes your entire game and suggests that this is not the way you should have played, this is the better way to play, right? So it's completely automated. using a cell phone and a smart racket. Smart bike, it analyzes everything. We use it all the time now. Smart door lock, smart socks. It analyzes a lot of things about you once you walk or once you trek. And last one is smart t-shirt. It gives you your exercise schedule, your calories burned, and so many other things, right? So this is an extra bird's eye view of artificial intelligence can do. At our center, almost 85 students are working with me, 20 PhD students, 65 brilliant BTech students, and around 6 faculty members. And we do a lot of projects all across. We have a lot of interns at the center from different parts of the country, including from IIT Kharagpur as well. And we do a lot of AI work, right? And generally AI is in applied work, right? The last statement, which is made by Andrew Ng, I'm sure everyone knows him. He is the developer of Google. He's also a co-founder of Coursera, a professor of Stanford University. He wrote this: artificial intelligence will transform every industry just as electricity did 100 years ago. So that is the power of artificial intelligence, right? So I'm sure that you got just some idea about what AI can do. And I'm sure if you like that AI, I'm sure you will learn that as a tool and apply that in your particular domain. That is the best way to use AI. So with that, thank you very much. I think I should not exceed my time. It's almost exact 11:15. Thank you.
Rightly said, sir. AI isn't just for engineers. It's going to have a colossal impact on every organization. I now request Dr. Sanjeev Kanungo, Vice Principal of the Marine Engineering Branch at Tolani Maritime Institute, to present the vote of thanks.
Well, thank you, Tsunami. And good morning to all of you. Let me start with saying that the show must go on. Team TMI, you did it against all odds. We deferred because of various reasons. The students were in uncertainty, and all interactions went online, and you all made it. A splendid beginning, I must say. And occasions like this, very clearly, are the curtain raisers for the much awaited digital India. With the reference to our chairperson's message today, and I may quote, the fourth industrial revolution has shipping in its sights and is a way of describing the blurring boundaries between the physical, digital, and biological worlds. It's a fusion of advances in AI, robotics, in IoT, 3D printing, genetic engineering, quantum computing, and other technologies. How do we keep up with the challenge? Critics say artificial intelligence is on the rise, and the satire answer is there is a decrease in real intelligence. But behind the AIs are the codings for algorithms written by intelligent people. And who could have spoken better than Dr. Kotecha? Thank you, sir, for accepting the invite and spelling out the need of this decade. Thankfully, multiple forums like this have populated the minds of young and old, and today it is the talk of every household. Alexas and others have made it sound simpler. Chairman, Institute of Marine Engineers, Mr. Chandarkar of the Pune branch. Sir, thank you for joining. Without your support, we could not have got the due leverage. I also extend my thanks to Professor Ghosh, who could not make it today, but we have the support of Institute of Engineers as well. and we'll indeed be grateful for times to come. I could see Captain Gajanan and Dr. Gopinath logged in. They will be the speakers for tomorrow and day after. That's so nice of you to have logged in and heard to what has been happening till now. During these depressing times, our young friend, Mr. Adesh Satpute, motivated himself to come out with a technically sound poster. Adesh is from the 4th year Marine Engineering branch. Thank you, Adesh. Good job done. But wonder this, our first year kid, who has hardly experienced TMI in particular and shipping in general, endeavors to understand Transtech and make a video worthy of the theme. Dipan Srivastav, good job done. Congratulations to both Dipansa and Adesh. You deserve a treat from the convener. Please go behind him. I could see our industry partners, members of the Classical Society, join us. Thank you for being present here. Judges, without you, things cannot be assessed. So you are very important, and we thank you for accepting our offer. And you will be having the difficult task of listening to all the presentations and assessing them. Thank you, Mr. Arvind Kumar. Thank you, Mr. Anand Thakur. No event is worthwhile without the participants and the listeners. Participating students from across the country, thank you for being supportive and encouraging, taking out time, writing papers. It's a great job. We would have loved to host you here, but you know, as things stand, we are helpless. All our students joining from the homes, there's a lot to learn from the days ahead. Team TMI, I come back to you. Well done. COVID has silenced us, and you quietly worked all throughout. The convener, Mr. Anirudh Kumar, his team, 3 cheers. Captain Kevin, as always, most sought after MC, and my compliments to Tsunami, Asprit, Aviraj, Amit, Hitesh, Abhijit. Thank you for holding on and keeping the momentum of the program, and I know for sure you will do it for the next 2 days. Scriptwriter, Captain Banerjee, you have done it again, but extremely sorry, no buffet lunch in Hostel 3 this time. Sometimes in the near future, certainly. I miss the posters, the shamianas, the auditorium decor. TMI facilities department has been convincingly, passionately engaging in beautifying TMI during these occasions. But we could not do it this time. But I am sure, apna time aayega. You are aware that COVID-19 pandemic is spreading rapidly in the country. At this juncture, everybody is required to get vaccinated of both the doses to become safe and healthy. I wish that you, along with your family members, remain safe, healthy, and prosperous during this terrible situation. Everybody should wear a mask, do sanitation on regular interval, and also take precautionary measures to keep COVID-19 virus away. I wish each one of you a very safe and healthy life. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Frankly, sir, all of us miss TMI and also the food that is served during Transtech. But rightfully said, if we follow the COVID guidelines, then we'll be back in college soon. And truly said, sir, Transtech is one of those events where the topics discussed send all of the attendees to a state of deep thinking. Thank you, Kanungo sir, for your kind words. With this, we come to the end of the inaugural function. We thank all of the dignitaries for enlightening us with their words. From here, we'll proceed to the first technical session. The visionary starts with a clean sheet of paper and revisions the world. With this quote, I would take this opportunity to introduce the judges of the first technical session. Our first judge is Mr. Arvind Kumar. After passing out from DMET, he started his sea career with Great Eastern Shipping and sailed till 2012 on different kinds of ships, including tankers, and for 30 years served as a chief engineer. He has taught at SIMS Lonavala as HOD Marine Engineering in 2005 for 9 months. He then continued teaching in India and Ethiopia till 2018. Presently, he is preparing to write a book based on his experiences.
Our second judge is Mr. Anand Thakur. After passing out from DMET Kolkata in 1974, Mr. Anand Thakur joined the Great Eastern Shipping Company. In 1985, he became a chief engineer with Sealand Shipping Austria, sailing on bulk carriers, containers, reefers, and mostly on tankers, including VLCCs of over 300,000 tons. He joined the Japanese company MMS in 1997, delivering new vessels at their yard. In 2005, he became the superintendent in their head office in Tokyo, Japan, rising to the general manager of the systems department, which controls ISM, ISO, and all safety, quality, health, and environment management tasks. He was posted as director of the Manning branch in India, MMSI, in Mumbai, until he retired in 2016.
Our third judge is Mr. Shailendra Kumar. Mr. Shailendra Kumar is presently working as Associate Program Chair, Marine Engineering in Tolani Maritime Institute. His area of special interest is Marine Control System, TQM, Marine Environment Protection and Quality Management. He did his BTech Mechanical from BIT, Mesra, Ranchi, and worked with companies like Tisco, Hindalco, and HDC in design department after graduation. He started his sea career with Cindia Steam Navigation Company as a junior engineer, and later on in other shipping companies in progressive ranks. He has total 30 years of experience, out of which around 13 years is in this field of teaching and research. He is a member of Institution of Marine Engineers.
Starting with our first technical session, I will now introduce you all to our session chair, Dr. Sanjay Tabargaonkar, who is a senior associate professor at Tolani Maritime Institute and the faculty in charge for extra first class for advanced electrical course. Dr. Tabargaonkar is also a fellow member of the Institution of Engineers, fellow member of Institution of Electronic and Telecommunication Engineers, and life member of the Indian Society for Technical Education. Dr. Tabargaonkar got his PhD in the EEE department from JNTU, Hyderabad. Apart from that, he has been a nominee for Bharat Shiksha Ratan Award in 2015. He has received the Best Faculty Award in 2004 and has refereed 10 journals, 50 conferences, and 2 books. This area of research interest is simulation of power electronic systems used on board ships for saving energy and for eco-friendly, green, and safe shipping. We welcome you, sir.
Yes, good morning all. Okay. For the today's session, this is the first session, okay, where we are going to call the authors to present the papers. First of all, I'll request the concerned authors to switch on your video. These authors are Ashpreet Singh from TMI. Okay. Just switch on your video. Then the Amarendra Kumar and Aniket Raj is from IMU Kolkata, but in the morning I got the message that they are unable to present. So if they are there, just switch on the videos. Otherwise, I will call other author to switch on your video. Mr. Karthik and then Mr. Srivastav from HIMT Chennai. Okay. Please switch on your videos. And one more author, a group of authors, Amit Raina, Abhijit Pillai, and Abhiraj Ranau from Karjat. Okay. So please switch on your videos and confirm your participation. Okay. So I hope these three groups will be presenting today. And one group is given information that they are unable to present. Okay? Amarendra Kumar and Aniket Raj from IMU Kolkata. Okay? So the first group of author, it's individual author Ashpreet Singh from TMI Induri. He is going to present on the paper Alternative Fuel, Predicted Issues and Solutions. Okay? And then the another group from HIMT Chennai, Mr. Karthik and Mr. Srivastava is going to present on the topic alternative marine fuels. Okay, and the third group from the AEMA Karjat, Mr. Amit Raina, Abhijit Pillai, and Abhiraj Ranau is going to present on hull form optimization. Okay, so just I will read the rules for the presentation. Okay, please put on that slide where the rules are there. Yes. Okay, so please find the rules are here. Each technical paper will be given at 12 minutes for the presentation. Time check will be provided on completion of 10 minutes and 12 minutes. Maximum 3 minutes will be given for question and answer session. Time management carries weightage for evaluation, so you have to stick to the time. Okay. Participants must share their presentations themselves, and in case of power failure or internet issue, their co-author may continue the presentation without much delay. Okay, so these are the rules. Okay, and if anything is there, we'll be informing you. All right. Okay, so now I request the first group of author, which is from TMI, okay, to keep your video on and other participants to switch off your video. Okay, so only Ashpreet Singh will continue with the presentation hereafter. So, okay, your time starts now. Okay.
Just a minute, Davargaonkar sir. Can I have a
Yes.
radio check with the judges, please? All three judges,
Yes,
can
sure.
you hear and can you see, please?
Sure, sure.
Yes, we are able to. This is Anand Thakur, and I can hear and see the screen also.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
But I can't see any of the participants. I think they are not in their videos.
No, sir. I am here. Ashpreet Singh.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, Ashpreet.
Morning, sir. Good morning. So, there's a problem with some screen sharing, sir. The anchoring team, please turn off. Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, all, and all the participants of this meeting. So my technical paper is titled Alternative Fuel, Predicted Issues and Solutions. So let us start with the index first. The index says utility, the introduction, possible relievers, the most important part, which includes the liquefied natural gas. It includes the biofuels, ship electrification, nuclear propulsion, renewable energy, and at the last, liquid and gaseous fuels. These all are the alternative fuels. And in the end, of course, conclusion. So what is utility? Utility is how much useful this paper will be to you if you read it. First of all, you will understand what is emission control, like why there is need to understand this emission control, why this term has been arising. The next one is about the cleaner fuels or the alternatives, which is the most important subject because of which we all have gathered here. And the last one is about the viability of alternatives. How complicated are these to get adopted in our industry? And all other complications will be discussed. So to begin with, I would say alarming emission rise. We all know the emissions are increasing, and as per the IMO's report, from 2012 to 2018, the emissions rose about 10%. And if no alternative fuel is introduced, these emissions are expected to rise by 50%. Of course, it has repercussions. The repercussions are mainly that IMO is struggling to come under the bracket of Paris Climate Change Agreement. And our industry is also facing resistance from the organizations registered with the same. Therefore, IMO has enacted some regulations. One of the most important is regarding the sulfur content. It states that ships cannot emit more than 0.5% of the sulfur content. Now, ship owners are left with two choices. Either they have to use low sulfur heavy fuel oil, which is expensive, or they have to look for the alternatives. As per me, there are some parameters for a suitable alternative fuel. These are the reliability of the fuel for longer transits, the availability of the fuel, and the most important, the cost effectiveness of the fuel. Number one on the list is the liquefied natural gas. How is it manufactured? It is manufactured by cooling the hydrocarbons to about minus 160 degrees Celsius, and then it is made useful for the fuel consumption. But here's a limitation associated with it. The limitation is about the methane slip. When LNG is used as a fuel, when it is burned, a small amount of methane is emitted into the atmosphere. And it is very dangerous because as per the IMO report, 151% increase in the methane was seen when LNG fuel vessels started sailing. But as we know that the European Union has introduced a cap that is 0.5%, also the cap by the IMO. So this fuel has its advantage as no such sulfur emission is there by this fuel. The next on the list is the biofuels. Biofuels, we all know, derived from the biomass. They require low cost retrofitting of engines. As we know that in LNG requires an expensive cost of retrofitting, but in biofuels, we do not require so expensive cost of retrofitting the engines. The limitation associated is inflation and environment contamination. There's a debate that if biofuel is introduced in the marine industry, the crops will be grown more for the biofuel rather for the food. So the increase in fruit prices will be there. And also the crops will be grown with the help of fertilizers and all. So environment contamination through nitrogen is also evident. And the demand cannot be met fully. Biofuels need hybridization. Only 20 to 30% demand can be met through the biofuels. The next one is the ship electrification. I would say this is a zero emission fuel. This fuel is viable only for shorter transits. The reason behind this is electrification is either achieved by weighted batteries or by a thing known as fuel cells. If more and more weighted batteries are added to the ship, the cargo carrying capacity of the ship will get reduced. So ship owners will face losses. So this fuel is now viable only for shorter transits. Fuel cells are basically the cells which convert the liquefied hydrogen into electricity through electrochemical processes. Again, these fuel cells require hydrogen, and hydrogen is a gas, has more volume, requires large tanks for the storage, again reducing the cargo carrying capacity of the ship. And also hydrogen is not readily available, so this fuel can be termed as expensive also. The next one is the nuclear propulsion, the most controversial fuel. there might be a doubt that this fuel can be used for manufacturing of weapons. It can be misused. But I must tell you that low enriched nuclear fuel is used, which is not at all fit for manufacturing of weapons. This fuel produces massive energy, and so it is viable for the longer transits. As you can see in this picture, this is an icebreaker ship. These ships have been utilizing this fuel since decades because these ships require massive energy for crushing through the ice, and they bunker after years. So nuclear propulsion is best fit for these ships. We all know this fuel requires foolproof technology because gamma radiation leaks are disastrous. There have been incidents like MV Mirai in which radiation leak was there. And so many ports in the world are very apprehensive before calling nuclear fueled ships to their berths. And so our industry is also working towards thorium reactors. These are the reactors which are far safer than the uranium reactors because thorium reactors can do controlled reactions, and reactions can be controlled in these reactors to such a level that they can be stopped anytime. Also, the radioactive waste which is produced, it is short-lived and it is not so much as compared to the uranium reactors. The next one is the renewable energy. Renewable energy, I would say it is technologically immature. As we all know that wind turbines are heavy weighted, they are expensive, and also they produce a lot of noise. So I would say that the input is expensive, the equipment is expensive, and the output is less. In the picture, you are seeing a Maersk ship, Maersk Pelican. Experiment of rotor sails was done on this ship. Rotor sails are basically long vertically axis mounted towers, and they utilize Magnus effect to propel the ship. The Magnus effect is that when a forward thrust is created, the ship is propelled forward with the help of the wind. This experiment was successful and it also attracted international attraction also. The next one, solar energy. It is very clear solar energy can produce very less output, so it is not at all viable to be used by these ships. And the last one on the list is the liquid and the gaseous fuels. These fuels are the fuels of hybridization. By this, I mean that none of these fuels can be used without in conjunction with the primary fuel. So hybridization is very necessary if the liquid and gaseous fuels are to be used to operate the ships. Two of the fuels which I have identified as of now are the liquefied petroleum gas and the dimethyl ether. These are the two viable fuels that can be used by our industry. Dimethyl ether remains unexplored a bit. The reason being there are some limitations which have been identified. The first one, it has lower viscosity. Lower viscosity means it has longer injection period. Second one, it has lower combustion enthalpy. So there can be issue with the leakage in the pipes and also the lower modulus of elasticity. This can make us to use the greater compression pumps when we have to pump this fuel. So dimethyl ether, it needs a lot more exploration before being adopted as an alternative fuel. And of course, the LPG reduces engine efficiency. We all know in our cars also, LPG fuel when burnt leaves some residue. So this reduces engine efficiency. And now about the conclusion of the topic. Cohesive international support. By this term, I mean that adoption of a new fuel is a tedious task. This fuel requires an international support. The reason being, only the developed countries or only the countries which have the emission control areas in the coastline or their economic zones, they are only looking forward for this alternative fuels. But the international communities have to come in, they have to arrive, and they have to also help the developing countries because it's a merchant navy is a global profession. So we have to the countries or organizations like the UNFCCC, the organizations associated with the Paris Climate Change Agreement, they need to step in and need to support by financially or by anything.
This
we need to support.
this is
so
a
that
10 minutes reminder. This is a 10 minutes reminder for the presenter. Continue.
Hybridization is the need of hour. I mean, without hybridization cannot be achieved because nuclear propulsion and liquefied natural gas, they were the only fuels which can be used without the hybridization. All other fuels require hybridization because the demand cannot be met. And in my view, liquefied natural gas looks like the most viable alternative fuel. With this, I mean that liquefied natural gas have been in use for almost about 10 years of now. So many ships are using liquefied natural gas as their primary fuel. And so the cost of retrofitting, which was its limitation, is also being continuously reduced as more and more companies are stepping in to make LNG fueled engines. And one more limitation was about the methane slip. Methane slip is now also being accounted for because methane, we have devised pneumatic pressured or nitrogen pressured engines. In these engines, the methane slip can be vastly reduced. So major limitations of the LNG have been removed now. And in my view, it's the most viable alternative fuel as of now. In the end, I would say we are a key industry. We transport almost 95% of the world's trade. So we need to focus on cutting down the emissions because it will be our bit in towards our Mother Earth, and we have to have all these discussions more and more so that we can brainstorm and look towards cutting down our emissions. Thank you very much.
Judges,
thank you.
This cadet took 11 minutes and 37 seconds. 11 minutes and 37 seconds.
Okay. So, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Ashpreet. That was very nice, and you covered almost all the alternatives that are possible. Of course, in your paper, you had not given any choice, but in your presentation, you did give that you would recommend LNG as the most viable alternative. So that's looks like a good choice. All the best. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So I request judges to ask some questions. Okay.
I think he has been quite clear in whatever he has presented. So there's nothing more to ask. The other judges, in case they have anything to ask, they're welcome.
Please.
Okay.
Challenger, sir. Yes.
Good morning, Ashpreet. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Just one question. You are talking about LNG, and you talked about methane slip. That means unburnt methane released into the atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
How is this methane deteriorating the atmosphere? What harm it does?
So the methane is also one of the emissions as produced by the ships. So harm, I think all those emissions, harm will be same as all those emissions, like deteriorating the layer of the ozone and polluting our environment. And as a specific harm, I'm not clear, sir. I'll have to do more research on it. Yeah.
Ashpreet, see, all air pollutions are not one and same. You already know that. Some are global warming, global warming gases, ozone depleting. Oh, they are all different kinds. So anyway, so you have said that you have to do more research. All right.
So other viewers can put question in the chat. I will read on their behalf. Okay. So if it is there, just you can put it in the chat.
Dabargawkar sir, there is a question,
yes.
Question and answer box from Ritik Yadav.
Yes. Okay. So there is one question from Ritik Yadav. LNG is a fossil fuel. How can it be an alternative fuel?
Okay, sir, I'll answer it. See, alternate fuel is a fuel which will reduce the emissions. So here we are not concerned about the fossil fuel. It is the one which is reducing our emissions. So LNG is an alternative fuel. There is no question of fossil fuels in this. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So anybody else, if you have any question, just put it in the question and answer box so that I can.
My question is, what is fossil fuel if LNG is not fossil fuel?
No, sir. LNG is a fossil fuel. Fossil fuels are those which are which have been in the earth for almost years, and we dig and take out these fossil fuels like petrol and all. But I gave the definition of alternative fuel. which is the fuel which reduces the emissions. Our present problem is of emissions. So I gave the definition of alternative fuel.
Okay.
Ashpreet, there is one more question from Dr. Srikant Madiwali. Sir, what is the percentage of oxygen in biofuel?
I'm sorry, sir, I'll not be able to answer it at this moment. I'll have to do more.
Yes, anybody else? If you have any question, just put it in the question and answer box. Okay. There is one more question from Shikhar, sir. Okay. The question is, if you are asked to suggest another alternative fuel except for LNG, what would be? And
As I
why?
told in my PPT, the other fuel except LNG will only be hybridization with LNG, like the renewable energy. The ship can be ignited with the primary fuel, and in the open ocean, it can be throttled back, and the wind energy can be used to propel the ship forward. So my alternative fuel except LNG will be the hybridization of renewable energy and the primary fuel.
So one more question is there. What is the damage to the sea life?
The damage to the sea life, basically these emissions are doing what they are polluting the environment. As such, I think the sea life is not getting damaged. Only the life above the sea is getting damaged to this. Sea life is only getting damaged if there's an oil spill or something in the sea.
Okay. So I think this much questions are enough. So now we can call the other presenter. Okay. So thank you. Thank you, Esprit. And I request all the viewers to appreciate the young author. He has taken much more interest and in this kind of situation. Okay, he has taken effort, and that efforts needs to be appreciated. Okay, so congratulations once again, and thank you, Ashpi. Okay, so now I call upon the second group of presenters, Mr. Karthik and Shitanjal Srivastav from HMT Chennai, and the topic of presentation is alternate marine fuels. Now, Ashpreet, please switch off your video, and the other group will switch on their video, and they will start their presentation. Okay? So your time starts now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Alternative money. Good morning to everyone, to all the dignitaries and judges and all the participants. Transtech 2021. So today I'll be presenting the paper of alternate marine fuels. So here it is. So the topics we'll be discussing is one by one. So introduction. So nowadays we know that the basic fuel of the maritime industry is HFO, which is about 77% used all on the global side, and it is just a residue of crude oil, and it has a good advantage of high energy density and easily available, and is a relatively low price. So after all these advantages, so what is that makes the industry to move towards alternative fuels? So let's see. Why is the need of alternative fuels? So first is IMO decision to limit the sulfur content by 0.5% worldwide. Second is recently adopted resolution to reduce greenhouse gases by 50%. This is adopted by IMO, and rather for after reducing the SOx emission, bringing in regulation, there has been uptake of marine fuels such as MGO and MDO in the industry. But these fuels are low in sulfur content, but still are producing as much GHG, greenhouse gases. And one more, the need for alternative fuel is to deliver a reduction in local pollutants and comply with the existing regulations. So So now you know the need for alternative fuels is mainly to reduce the pollutants and comply with the existing regulations. So what is alternative fuels? Alternative fuels is a fuel, at least partly, which at least partly as a substitute for fossil oil sources, and which have the potential to contribute to its decarbonization and enhance the environmental performance. So uh, it is not fully overtaking the fossil fuels, but can at least partly contribute to its emissions and contribute to its decarbonizations. So they include electricity, hydrogen, biofuels, synthetic paraffin, LNG, LPG, etc. So come to the marine fuel challenges. So what are the challenges which we are facing by of today's marine fuel? So we have sulfur reductions. So we know that most of the marine fuels are having a high content of sulfur content in them, and IMO also has recently come up with the regulation in and amendments to reduce the sulfur content by from 4.5 to 0.5% recently. And talking about NOx reduction, NOx reduction is also a major challenge. Although we can reduce it from significant systems like SCR and EGR systems, and CO2 reduction. CO2 is nothing but greenhouse gases. IMO estimates that it may rise up to 20 to 205% at about year of 2050, and if no actions are taken. Talking about future fuel taxes, as we know that HFO and other marine fuels are fossil fuels, and they can deplete over a year. So their taxes and their prices may increase with the reduction of their content in the world, and falling freight rates. So falling freight rates is a major headache for ship owners, like because demand for the goods traveling from shipping is going to increase, but at the same time the fuel prices will also increase. So there will be a great loss to the ship owners. So this is a graphical representation of the reduction in the sulfur content in the fuel, which you can see it has reduced from 4.5% to 0.5%. And in the emission control areas, you can see that it has reduced from 1.5 to 0.1%. And this is the NOx emission table given in the MARPOL Annex 6. We have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, and this all depends on various RPM of the engine. And this is the timeline, the graphical representation of the previous table. You can see it is for tier 1, it is slightly above. Tier 1 is at the top of the table, and tier 2 is slightly less and globally applied, and tier 3 is mostly applied for a NOx emission control areas. And here the picture what you see is the initial IMO strategy on reduction of GHG emissions. It was proposed, and it is aiming at 50% reduction at the end of 2050, and we can already see that how much precaution it is taking to reduce the CO2 emission control. New technologies. Among the proposed alternative fuels for shipping, DNVGL has identified LNG, LPG, methanol, biofuel, and hydrogen fuel as the most promising solutions. And they are said to replace can be said as to be replaced as alternative fuels. And fuel cell system for ships are under development, but will take time to reach a level of maturity sufficient for substituting main engines. Alternative fuel, in order to be alternative fuel, it should means complete these following demands. So for a marine fuel to be a fuel of the future, it needs to comply with the fuel triangle. So this is a fuel triangle given by DNVGL. So it must comply with high energy density. So a fuel must have a high energy density. The energy density of alternate fuel will need to be comparable with the existing marine fuels. The crucial element with regards to the energy density in the energy content is the energy content per volume. If said energy content is smaller than the energy content of current marine fuels, cargo capacity will have to be reduced as more space will be needed for fuel storage. Second is availability plus security of supply. So it is important that alternate fuels are easily available and they are easily supplied from one place to another. If not available, uh, availability is because shipping is a worldwide industry, it should be also available worldwide. So proper infrastructure has to be built for that availability, and the fuel should be GHG neutral. So GHG neutral means greenhouse gas neutral. So it is obvious that any fuel should be uh, letting out lowest emission it can possibly leave. So these are few other demands that it should comply with. Competitively priced. Yes, it should be competitively priced compared to other marine fuels. And SOx and NOx limits. It should give a considerable amount of SOx and NOx. No degradation of engine performance. If it is used in engines, it should not degrade their performance. And CO2 emissions of alternate fuels. So here is the graph which showing CO2 emission of alternate fuels. You can see among all these, it is the blue bar is showing the tank to propeller, and the orange bar is showing the well to tank. The tank to propeller is nothing but when you are burning the fuel, how much CO2 is produced, and well to tank is the CO2 produced while its production. So we can see the LNG is producing among the above six fuels. LNG is producing very less as compared to above six fuels, and we can also see hydrogen is considered as a clean fuel, but it is producing a lot of CO2. The second liquid from CH4, it is producing a lot of CO2 and greenhouse gas challenge. So there have been a lot of regulation taken place in the industry among all the years. So it is going to be continued to be taken for stringent rules. The blue ones is already adopted, and there are so many regulations taken all over the years, and some are in the pipeline which are still yet to be taken. So we can expect a lot of difficulties in choosing an alternative fuel. So here we start with our first alternative fuel, hydrogen as fuel. The cleanest fuel is hydrogen produced using renewable energy. Yes, we know that hydrogen is the cleanest fuel. Only after burning we get only the water as a byproduct. So here are the what you see the diagram here is are the two processes of producing the hydrogen. The first one is the SMR method. It is a steam reforming method.
This is a 10 minutes reminder for the cadet. 10 minutes reminder.
This is the production of and this, the left hand side is the SMR method, and it is somewhat cheaper than the other methods. And the second one is the more greener method, which only gives the H2 and O2. But you can see on the left side it produces also CO2. The two types of hydrogen that are used on ships need to be considered. The hydrogen dual fuel internal combustion engines can burn hydrogen with very low GHG emissions, and one which is another one is fuel cell systems. On the other hand, use an electrochemical reaction to generate electricity. The efficiency of fuel cell is relatively high at around 45% to internal combustion engines. Talking about the availability, it scores relatively well for hydrogen. It is globally supply network for hydrogen is there present, but for the worldwide availability, investments will be needed in renewable and hydrogen production infrastructures so far. But of its disadvantage is very low energy density, so it requires large storage volumes to come into the international deep sea shipping. Talking about biofuels can be said to be a possible alternative marine fuels. They have low GHG emissions, low sulfur levels, and but there are a list of biofuels in the industry, but only biodiesel derived from plants or pulping residues and bioethanol are produced in volumes that can be supply the marine industries. One of the challenges are the volume that are required, because a large amount of volume is needed to power the ships. Advantages are low SOx emission, safe to use, environment friendly, commercially available, cost competitive, marine is certified to burn biodiesel.
Your time is up. Your time is up. 12 minutes are passed by.
Okay. So should I stop?
Please conclude.
Okay. Conclusion is that there is no fuel that can that complies with the existing regulations uh, on local pollutants at the same time delivers a big reduction in greenhouse gases emission and is economically viable. LNG works perfect for existing regulation on local pollutants, but is not low GHG fuel. Biofuel shows potential, but only if actual savings are realized, like fertilizer use need to be accounted for. Hydrogen, there is a barrier on transport and storage. Significant efforts will be required first to demonstrate applicability in practice and subsequently to be scaled up to the industrial level when talking about long-term lifetimes of ship and fuel supply infrastructure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
This credit has taken 12 minutes and 52 seconds. 12 minutes and 52 seconds.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Karthik. Okay, you have done a good job. You have taken review of so many alternative fuels. Okay, so based on your presentation, first of all, I'll request judges to ask a few questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Arvind Kumar here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
There is some problem with the audio, I think.
Sir, my audio?
No, not yours. Judges, please, can you ask few questions?
Mr. Arvind Kumar, you asked me a question. Please go ahead.
Arvind Kumar, Shailendra sir, Anand sir.
Yeah.
Arvind Kumar was asking something, I think.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it possible to burn magnesium and then produce steam? Pure magnesium burns very fast, and if that can be controlled, there will be no greenhouse effect coming in the picture.
Yes, sir.
And magnesium is easily available also. So, have you thought about that?
Sir, I have no idea about it, but I can tell that the combustion of it is very spontaneous, so it is difficult to control its combustion.
Yeah.
So it will be not safe for the use.
Any fuel is not safe that way, but this is more unsafe, but it can be still controlled.
Sir, I have no sufficient idea.
Okay, no problem. Very good. Good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Thakur?
Yes, good afternoon, Karthik. This is Anand Thakur here. You've covered a lot of fuels in your paper, and quite well presented also, though you ran short of time because this is you tried to cover a lot in this. But from your presentation that I have read, the last part, especially where you talk about ExxonMobil's premium HDME 50 fuel,
yes, sir,
that you have, I think, stretched it a bit long and looks more like a product literature of HDME 50. So that extra 3-4 pages were not really necessary. Just one short paragraph about the fuel would have been sufficient.
Sir, we don't have sufficient information about it. We just copied it straight away from the site and learned about something about it.
Yeah, that is right. So that's what I said, that this more of looks more like a product literature of the product rather than sort of, and that much was not necessary because it is not really an alternative fuel. So HDME 50 wouldn't really classify so much as an alternative fuel.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, well done, and you've covered it wide coverage, I would say.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, I agree with Mr. Thakur.
Yes,
it was well researched, well, at least a lot of facets were covered about this alternative fuels. Uh, uh, I've got one question because you use a nice term called, well to tank and tank to propeller equivalent efficiency and all that. So Karthik, if we compare an engine which is burning purely LNG with an engine which is either burning, let us say, HFO or even diesel oil, all right,
Yes,
then
sir.
based on pure tank to propeller equivalent of emission, where it will be less, because I found somewhere you had mentioned this. You have got some idea? Can you throw some light on this?
Yes, sir. I would like to turn to the page from a PPT. So, sir, here we see that oil fuel from HFO is giving a lot from well to tank and tank to propeller. You can see uh, comparison between the oil fuel HFO and the LNG. Uh, that there are two LNGs, but you can see the lower that is from Qatar, used in Qatar, and you can see the CO2 emissions is relatively less as compared to the oil fuel HFO.
So does it include even methane slip? So you had mentioned even with methane slip, the total the LNG is much better. It emissions are much less, even if whatever methane slip is happening. You mentioned that in paper. Do you remember that? Do you agree to that?
Yes, sir. Methane slip actually a greenhouse gas. It is the unburned methane which is burned in the atmosphere, but it is actually a greenhouse gas and actually has a global potential of 25% higher than the CO2. So I think it will the according to the emission, it is comparatively less to the HFO, and it can be used as an alternative.
Good answer. Thank you.
So the other audience is requested to put your questions in the question answer box so that I can convey this question to Cadet Karthik. So there is one more question for Mr. Karthik. Just you can listen to this. Can manufacturing of hydrogen on large scale be good for environment? Because there are lots of ships around the world.
Sir, the manufacturing, there are actually two methods of manufacturing the hydrogen. The one which is very cheapest. So the companies will always opt for the cheapest production. So one which is very cheapest is actually producing more CO2. That is which is very harmful for the environment. But one which is if they opt for the cleanest process, which is electrolysis process, then it would be good.
I think he's talking about safety, but hydrogen involves some sort of risk also. How to address that issue?
Yes, sir. For safety, we can there need to be some safety precautions taken in because hydrogen is a flammable gas and it's highly combustible. So sufficient safety should be taken in in handling and transporting and storage of this fuel.
Okay. There is one more question. Hydrogen have very low volume metric density. So there must be a new refueling stations in long stretches, the like Pacific Oceans. Is shipping industry ready for such investments?
Yes, sir. If the shipping industry is looking for an alternative fuel, and if they are if they are very leaning towards the hydrogen, then they have to invest in this is having very lower energy density, so they require a larger fuel tanks, and that's why they have to invest.
Okay, all right. One more question. What do you think about LH2? It can be transported through double-walled steel tankers. Additionally, it will be producing zero emission. So, what is your opinion about LH2?
Sorry, sir, I don't have any idea.
Okay, okay. So, anybody else wish to ask a question? Here is one more question from Dr. Srikant Madivule, sir. What is the percentage of sulfur burnt after burning of the biofuel?
Sir, I don't know the exact percentage, but I can say that it is relatively low as compared to HFO, so it can be used as and is a viable product.
Okay, then one more question. Why biodiesel is a clean alternative fuel? Why?
Sir, biodiesel can be said as clean alternatives fuel because it has a low GHG emission, and it has comparatively low sulfur as compared to other fuels, and it is made the uh, and it is renewable, can because it is made from bioproducts and bio stuff, uh, but yes, it can be said as alternative, said as clean alternative fuel because of these reasons.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay. And congratulations.
Thank you,
Right. So now I call another presenter, a group of authors, Mr. Amit Raina, Mr. Cadet Abhijit Pillai, and Cadet Abhiraj Ranaut from AEMA Karjat. Please switch on your video, okay, and you can start your presentation.
Karthik, could you please stop sharing your screen?
Karthik, you can stop your video now. The group of authors from AEMA Karjat, please okay, confirm your presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the topic of presentation is hull form optimization.
So good afternoon to all respective panels and cadet. Me,
Yes.
Amit Rana, GME, second semester cadet from Anglo-Eastern Maritime Academy, with my teammates Abhijit Pillai and Abhiraj Ranawat, here to give a presentation on the topic of hull form optimization. So hull is the main structural member of the ship. As suitable material is the essential component of hull formation, the proper design is even more important. Uh, Eco-friendly shipping and fuel efficiency are gaining much attention in the maritime industry due to the increasing stringent environment regulations. As in Jan 2020, IMO set a limit rule of used sulfur in the fuel oil used on board ship, that is 0.15, which previously was 3.5%. Here we see a picture, the baseline design and optimized design. As we see the right side picture, there is no much difference that we find out. If we focus on the left side, the colored picture, the yellow part of the above picture is more prominent compatible to the below one. So what yellow part actually indicates, it indicates the pressure point. By just reducing this pressure point, we get the 14% of power reduction and 13% of fuel reductions. Introduction. What type of requirement we need to satisfy to a optimum hull designing, that is capacity, volume displacement, stability, hydrodynamics, and service speed, shear keeping, maneuverability, functionability, and pleasing forms. Hull form distribution. What are the various parameters that we need to find out while that we need to consider while designing a optimum hull, optimum designing of hull, that is displacement, a block coefficient, prismatic coefficient, redshift coefficient, that is a volumetric prismatic coefficient, water plane coefficient, and longitudinal center of buoyancy, where LSF is a longitudinal center of flotation, where KB, which is the distance between the center of buoyancy to the keel. Next, hull form variant, where we have a three hull form variant that we need to define for a proper designing of the hull, that is LCB studies. Basically, LCB study is what indicates, it indicates the volume distribution, how much the volume distribution we have in forward part and we have in aft part, and forward study and aft body study. Next, study of the optimum position. As I said earlier, LCB plays an important role in resistance. It indicates how much volume we have in forward and aft part. For better design, if forward portion is given major effect of resistance, we should adjust the LCB accordingly, which we'll see later. The next slide. As the blow coefficient goes up in LCB, goes up off to forward. Here is a slide which clearly mentioned that LCB is not exactly at the center. It is slightly at the slightly apart to the forward part. And next, study of the optimum for body designs. There are we have three body shapes, that is V shape, U shape, and bulb shape. And these three are a different application purpose. In V shape, we get a less blow coefficients and less forwardly resistant, and even we get a less angle of ends and less drag. So these V shape are generally used where we need more speeds, and generally we are using in a finer shapes. And U shapes comparatively V shapes, here we get a more blow coefficients, and the range of the blow coefficient is about 0.8 to 0.850 in a U shape. But next we have a bulb shape. We can say that it is a composition of the V and U shape. In a bulb shape, it is a medium. We can say the medium shape where we get the blow coefficient 0.5 to somewhat about 0.530s. So next, there are different picture we have where different type of bulbs we use in a maritime industries.
So next is the four body shape. So considering that when we design a four body shape, when we are taken here as an ideal fluid, that whenever a body moves in an ideal fluid, there is a pressure force which develops around the body that is normal to the body surface. So in this, as you can see in the diagram, there is an there is an actual component of a forward and aft body force that would cancel each other. So that is the main component. As we can see here, in an ideal fluid, these pressure forces are equal and the body experiences no resistance. So that is the main study done here. And next is the study for the optimum aft body design. So considering our main aim is to have a minimum wave resistance. For that, we considered here that not to consider just to have a resistance alone. So why I say this, that if we design a good aft body design, we you won't have a penalty on resistance. And of course, that if it is a bad design, there will be a bad penalty on a resistance. So now aft body considering flow consideration says that the flow on the propeller is good and it doesn't have any vibratory forces. So that is the main concern. Like when it can produce a less turbulence, that means the area between the propeller and the outer shell above the propeller, which gives us a good propulsive efficiency. So that is covered in this slide. And next.
Yes, sir. So in this side, when the ship floats on the water, it generates a wave, which is at the direction opposite to the direction of the motion of the ship, and the speed of the wave is same as that of the speed of the ship. Now, it now this is lower figure. It indicates the wave generated by the ship. In this, our pressure point is the bow of the ship. When the ship strikes the water, the transverse and divergent waves are being generated. Now in the above figure, when the ship strikes the water, there is a positive pressure zone created, and negative pressure zone is created when the ship strikes the forward, aft, and the and the stern of the ship. Now the below figure indicates the wave interference pattern. So if the wave is in same direction as that of, if the waves generated by the bow and the stern are in same direction, then there will be less wave resistance. As if the waves generated by the bow and the stern are in opposite direction, there will be more wave resistance due to the formation of turbulent flow.
In conclusion, the method of optimizing hull form to respect to their hydrodynamic performance, which we discussed earlier, the hull form procedure of minimum resistance I developed here is presented. The optimum range of LCB. Actually, LCB are decided as per basically we have to keep in consideration that what type of resistance we are getting. In fact, if we see the front part of the ship, we definitely we get a more speed, but parallelly we are getting the more resistant shoulder part. So we design a ship accordingly where we get the less resistant as shoulder part, and parallelly you get a more speeds. Here I mentioned the optimum range of LCB for body design and after body design to make it economically favorable. The various wave factor that I discussed earlier, the various wave factor, there are different negative pressure zone which are generated at different part, like in front part and the front shoulder and the aft shoulder that we consider. So that the less turbulence we generated, and less turbulence, that less, if we have a less turbulence, definitely we have a lesser resistance. So next we have acknowledgement. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to our Vice Principal, Chief Engineer Tejinder P.S. Bhamra, our Faculty Advisor, Chief Engineer Chilukuri Maheshwar, Chief Engineer Yogeshwar Chonkar for providing their invaluable guidance, comments and suggestions throughout the course of this project. Through this technical paper, we have to learn about how focus on the optimization work has been made to minimize the resistance, but in future, the application will be extended to cover optimization toward improved performance of the stern flow and improved sea keeping properties. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Just to note that this presentation was completed in 9 minutes and 23 seconds. 9 minutes and 23 seconds.
Okay, so thank you, Cadet Amit. So you have taken a lot of efforts collecting information about the different parameters and even design of hull and all that, and how it will contribute to the reduction in the emission and all that. So congratulations to you. Okay. So I request judges to ask a few questions based on his presentation. So Anand sir, please.
Well, congratulations to all of you for a very good presentation. Although the handout which I had got is totally different from what you presented here. So earlier I had just gone through your handout here, which was totally saying it only the very few parts are same, but otherwise most of it is different. The handout was not that interesting, but what you presented just now is definitely more precise and to the point, and more interesting also. So I think you've done a good job.
Thank you, sir.
Shailendra sir.
Good afternoon, Amit and your team.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon.
Yeah, echoing Mr. Anand, what the paper you had sent was actually specific hull design optimization for LNG bunkering vessel that you have called small scope LNG bunkering vessel. where you have talked specifically about optimizing it. And here you just mentioned through various inputs that these are the parameters, correct? No? LCB, which is longitudinal center of buoyancy, the forward part bulbous bow, and aft body optimization.
Yes.
Is it so?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So can you talk something about what you have talked about in paper? Because that was looking quite interesting, where you are trying to optimize hull form design of SLBV.
So there is a rising demand.
Basically a CNG bunkering, LNG bunkering vessel.
Yes, sir.
Which requires, you said, that lower L to B ratio and more CB. Can you just talk about why so? Why lower L to B ratio, L by B, and higher CB?
So as we know that my fellow colleagues just gave a presentation about alternating fuels. So they mentioned about LNG running ships. So recently there was such kind of a ship which was developed, which was LNG carrier. So in that ship, it was found that it needed 1 hour to get to be refueled, and it was too expensive to bring the ship to the port. So there was a rising demand of a small LNG carrier bunkering, so that that small ship should be fast as well as efficient enough to go to the mothership from the port and do the refueling and then come back fast. So it is much efficient in such manner. So if the blow coefficient is high, then there will be a much larger carriage of LNG fuel, and moreover we needed a small ship so that the speed of the ship should also be high enough. Yes, sir.
So how it is connected to L by B?
So if the mainly we needed that the length of the ship should be more, because we have observed in naval ships the length of the naval ship is a little bit higher rather than the breadth. So like this they are more they have higher speed and they are more stable in the waves.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The other viewers requested to ask questions through question and answer box.
Good morning, cadet. Myself, Dr. Sudhir Sindagi. I have a few questions, but I will limit it to only 1 and 2. What is the Froude number? Somewhere in this presentation you mentioned about Froude number. How will you define it? What is its physical significance? And how it will affect the wave making resistance?
So basically, Froude number is the proportional of a velocity to the ratio of the velocity to the under root of gravity, to the under root of product of gravity and the characteristic length. With increasing Froude number, we get a more speeds. Generally, we use a Froude. If we generally where we get a less and block of, and their Froude number is proportionally high.
Is this Froude number is used to define what kind of vessel it is? Basically,
sir, tanker vessel or generally finer vessel where we have a less and block coefficient.
no, I'm talking about Froude number. You have mentioned some range there, so I am actually interested in knowing if any specific range is there for slow vessel, high speed vessel, or medium speed vessel, and how it is going to affect the wave making resistance, because you talked about wave making resistance patterns also.
So for destroyer, the value is 0.45, and it depends on the speed and performance. And for a large tanker, it's 0.85, which is for fuller hull.
Is it 0.85? What you said?
Yes, sir. For large tanker.
I'm afraid it is wrong. One comment on wave making resistance for the Froude number.
Sorry, sir.
Your comment on wave making resistance for the Froude number, different Froude numbers.
Sorry, at this moment we are not able to answer this question. We need to do some research.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yes, anybody else wish to ask question to Cadet Amit Raina and his team? Anybody else? Some time is there, so
Not a relevant question, Amit, but all three of you are sitting at one place. Are you in the institution, Anglo Eastern only, or you are at home?
No, sir, we are at institution.
Okay.
Whether you are maintaining social distancing or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we are maintaining.
That is very much required in this kind of situation.
Definitely.
Okay. Anybody else wish to ask some question? Some time is there. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Cadet Amit and your team. Okay, congratulations. You have taken a lot of efforts in preparing all this. Okay, so just I request all the authors to switch on your video. Okay, Mr. Ashpreet, then Cadet Karthik and his team, and Cadet Amit Raina and his team. So just I will give the summary of the session. Okay. The first author, he was from TMI, okay. Mr. Ashpreet Singh, okay. And the topic of the paper was alternative fuel, uh, predicted issues and solutions. Okay. He took 11.37 seconds. Okay. Right. Then second presenter, he was Mr. Karthik and Shitanjal Srivastav from HIMT Chennai. They took 12.50 seconds around for their presentation. Okay. And the last presentation of the session was by Mr. Amit Raina, Abhijit Pillai, and Abhiraj Ranaut from Anglo-Eastern Karjat. Okay. And the topic was hull form optimization, and they took 9.23 seconds. Okay. So as you know, okay, all the three papers were perfectly suitable for the theme of the conference, that efficient shipping on clean oceans. Okay. Right. And as you know, okay, as per the Marpol Conventions, Annex 6, Chapter 4, the Ship Energy Design Index is made mandatory for all ships, and ship energy management plan is also made mandatory for all new ships. So efforts are going on to reduce the carbon emission to the greater extent, and by, as it is mentioned in the some of the presentation, by 2050 we have to reduce the carbon emission, okay, or greenhouse gas emission to the minimum possible extent, okay, like that. So this Cadet Ashpreet has mentioned about all the alternative fuels and given much more details about LNG and its importance, and how we can contribute to the reduction in the greenhouse gas emission, and carbon and all that. He mentioned nicely. So he took good effort for preparing the presentation. Okay, because he was alone in the group. The second presentation was done by Cadet Karthik. He also mentioned about SOx, NOx, carbon emission. Then target also he has mentioned that how to reduce the carbon by 2050. Okay, and how the research is going on in that direction. Okay, he has included the different alternative fuels in that: LNG, LPG, okay, methanol, biofuel. Okay, he talked about high density fuel, then the fuel GHG neutral, okay, and hydrogen as a fuel, biofuels. So many things he has covered. So he has also taken good efforts in that. Okay, and the third team, that is Cadet Amit Raina. Okay, he talked about the optimization. Okay, in hull design, hull form optimization. Okay, different different shapes he has taken. Then he talked about the wave making resistance and all that. These parameters, how they will contribute in the reduction in these greenhouse gas emission. Okay, so all that. So all the three authors, three group of authors, we can say, they have taken a lot of efforts. And again, I say their efforts needs to be appreciated. So I request all the viewers to say in the chat, appreciate them by giving hand or round of applause, if possible, so that these youngsters will continue their research in future and definitely contribute to the international maritime field. Okay, so all of you, thank you very much, and congratulations once again for your efforts. Okay, so over to you, Hitesh.
Sir, before we move along, I request all the authors, you have your videos on. Shailendra Kumar sir, can you please switch on your camera?
Yes.
And we'd like to just take a photograph of all those who are presented in this technical session. I believe Mr. Arvind Kumar does not have a working camera. So, and Karthik has left the session, has he?
Yeah, Karthik has left the session. He had some job.
Okay, fine. So all of you all, please smile for the paparazzi. Thank you. Hitesh, over to you.
Thank you, sir. What an informative session it was. To do all of this during these unprecedented times, to be able to put your mind and time into such presentations is commendable. To present such papers is one thing. To stand and evaluate such a competition is another. I would like to thank Dr. Sanjay Dabargaonkar, the session chair, for conducting this session. Your humbleness and patience is contagious. Thank you, sir, for taking your time out and hosting this technical session.
Thank you, Hitesh.
Thank the three judges. Your evaluation is valuable to us. Thank you for your presence. Thank you to all of the participants for presenting these papers. Thanks to all of the panelists and attendees for joining in, asking questions, giving reactions, for your appreciation and making the first day a memorable one. Tomorrow, we'll have another day filled with knowledge and technological information. This is all what Transtech is about. We will meet tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. and do not forget to follow the COVID-19 guidelines. Cadet Hitesh Ranglani along with Cadet Sonami Kotian signing off.